Hi friends, welcome back. We're going to kick off this session with Ryley and David, co-leaders of the Calgary Power Platform User Group. Since taking ownership in 2024, they've organized dozens of events, built a strong volunteer base, and grown their community to over 600 members. Today, they'll share the do's, don'ts, and the I wish I knew sooner moments for running a thriving user group, covering partnerships, hands-on events, social media strategies to keep your group engaged and growing. Welcome to the stage.
Awesome. Testing. Awesome.
Just.
How's everyone doing today? So, for those of you, do you know where Calgary is? Yeah, kinda. Yeah, so we threw in a quick map. So this is where we are, down here, and then Calgary's all the way up there. It's not snowing yet, but there's snow there. So today we're so excited to be sharing our tips and tricks of us kind of revitalizing our user group since COVID. And we're presented by, my name's David, this is Ryley. We'll introduce ourselves in a moment. But really quick, we have 20 minutes to go through our agenda. For those of you who want extra details, definitely follow us on LinkedIn, come find us throughout the conference, and then we're more than happy to help every single one of you improve your user group in your local areas. So we're gonna go through an origin story, some quick tips, and then a bunch of bonus content if we have time. All right, so we're ready to go?
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. So my name's Ryley Bauer, and this is David. For those of you who don't know us, we're with Bauer Automate. I think some of you might get the pun on that one here. Our motto is collaboration, transformation, and optimization. It's really important for us to look at how we can help our customers not only do these projects for them, but help them do it together. Myself, I'm a cat dad, music nerd, and I'm one of only a few Power Platform certified trainers who specializes in the entire Power Platform. And then David has been helping me out here. It's one of his 28 startup. He's a humble citizen developer coming from the world of car sales and kind of learning, what can be done with the Power Platform and helping me scale this up together, in addition to his humanitarian background. So a little bit of our origin story here. In 2024, we heard about the Power Platform user group was getting split apart into a focus on Fabric and the rest of the Power Platform. And we decided that we wanted to help out and kind of resurrect it. Things have happened with the pandemic, and some of the user groups have been still getting together virtually, but there wasn't much happening in town. So we wanted to go through and bring that kind of back together. So we held a few events spreading from a Power Platform pizza party to something simple and humble like office hours. We're going to talk about some of our events and our kind of formula we've been doing here, but we've been able to get our group back up and running, and it's just exciting to see the community that we were building here. So one of the things that's really important that I just can't give David enough credit for is we want to share our community and get more people involved, and taking some pictures, taking some, bringing some swag. We've got a sign. A lot of things we've been doing to just kind of bring the group back together, and we get our audience larger and larger as we've been having our different Power Platform pizza parties, but we also have our smaller, more humble events where we have our office hours, and honestly, these are some of my favorites. We'll talk about them in a bit, but it's nice just getting a few people together and talking about what they're working on and what's coming up next. So as far as our different events go, we have a wide variety of different audiences, and for us, we want to focus on making sure we're getting some content for each of those different groups. So we look at, in our office hours, local professionals, some people who are working on a project right now at work, and they're stuck. You're 80% there. There's a couple little technical things that are just really hard. And it's nice to be able to get together in a space where you can ask a few other professionals for some advice, some insights. One of my favorite things is a rubber duck I keep on my desk that I will talk to my problems with, and often I'll realize where I've gone wrong, but at the same time, having another professional in the room is really helpful. Students and recent grads. A lot of people are getting into this industry. Who here is new to the Power Platform, as in you've only been using it for the last 6 months or less? A couple hands here. How many of you have been using it for 10 years like myself? So it's cool to see that there's, even in a little group like this, we have a wide spectrum of a few people who have brand new to the tool and a few others who are learning, and that's kind of part of where my next one is on the upskilling workforce. Some people are starting to transition into the Power Platform from something else. One of our recent hires is an engineer, and the certifications for engineering in our area are quite complex, and they decided to take that knowledge and bring it to the Power Platform. It's a really cool perspective. And then you know what? As we're getting into tech here, it's a great opportunity for people who are new to the country as well. And so we like to be able to kind of give some perspectives for people to pass around their careers. David, how about you on the...
Awesome. So now we're gonna go through the event formats on how we've built our user group over the last 2 years. So a lot of user groups, they do this whole like, hey, let's go to a conference room, do a lecture style speaking thing. We completely eliminate that. We do not do that. So what we do is we do what we call community gatherings. And that's essentially, we bring everybody into a really open space, and then you just go there, meet, network, and talk to people. And then while we're doing this kind of community gathering, we have kind of little rooms or places in the corner where we invite speakers to come in and essentially do their community pods. So they'll bring their laptop, show like, Power Apps UI, governance, a few other kind of topics that are pre-selected by us. Ryley's done a few topics. We've had other certified people that go in and train about like how to get Microsoft certification in the space. And then our third event format is literally our favorite format, and it's essentially called office hours. So if you remember back in the day when you're in university, college, your professor has that separate time in their own office where you can go up and bring your laptop, bring your notes, and ask questions. We do the exact same thing. So we literally just sit at our office, put the event on Meetup, and people just show up throughout the day. And then our admin will help bring them in, and they bring their laptop and we help them out with all sorts of problems, from data flows, building a Power App, delegation issues with the SharePoint list, so many different things. It's really, really cool, and I 100% recommend you host your own office hours in your local area. Even if you have 1 or 2 people coming, it takes one person at a time to make a big impact. And then lastly, we have our kind of charity hackathon. So we're working with a few nonprofits right now to organize a hackathon to bring a Power Platform solution to their environment. All right, cool. With our volunteer base, so volunteers are really challenging to find unless you're able to find a beer sponsor and then give the beer to the volunteers and they'll come help out a little bit more. So we have essentially a hackathon volunteer role, we have a fundraising volunteer role, events logistics, and then the casual volunteer. So you're always gonna have those people like, hey, I'll just come to the event a few minutes earlier or half an hour earlier, help you set up, do things, stay half an hour after to help tear down and clean up. So definitely you need all these groups, and you have your kind of core members. And definitely from us, from the Bauer team, we do heavily invest our staff to come in and help us and support the whole event and organization of things.
I'm just going to add as well, one of the other things that I think has made our group really successful is our dynamic here. One of the things that I found is you don't have to do this by yourself. The fact that we're able to, I'm the humble tech nerd who can kind of bring together some of the knowledge and the planning for what we're going to do in the events, and David can bring his energy and all that it just kind of gets our group up and running. So I just want to say as well, don't do this by yourself. We've made ourselves a small volunteer committee of some core volunteers, some larger groups, but I make sure as well, a lot of the other groups have come up here and echo the same message here. Don't do this by yourself. Make sure you at least get a co-leader who matches or complements your energy.
Yeah, 100%. We balance each other so much. Next, marketing and communications. So we run our group off a LinkedIn group, Meetup, and then the Microsoft community page. Please remember to post your events on the Microsoft community page, or your group will get disbanded. Really quickly, how do I get attendance to my Meetup groups? So literally what I did for the first beginning parts, I LinkedIn researched Power Platform Microsoft in my local area in the city of Calgary, and I literally connected with every single person, and I constantly, still to today, message them all the time to come to our event. And that's how we get more event numbers, and then we keep increasing our numbers from there, and then after that, they follow me on LinkedIn and they see my constant posts of our events for them to come, and then eventually they become rabid, passionate people to join our events. Definitely encourage this. Lots of photos and videos. I recommend you go to a local university marketing kind of group and then find a student and tell the student to come in and take pictures and photos for your event for their portfolio. It'll be posted on the Microsoft official channels. So that's how you get a free photographer and videographer. Sponsorship. So I'm gonna touch over this really lightly, but I think the most important thing, and I'm gonna use a pun from our famous like hockey legend, but asking is for free. So literally I message every single business, every single brewery, craft brewery, any business that's willing to give to events. I go to other events, take pictures of sponsors, and I literally message all of them and ask the same thing. And I ask, and then, you know, if you ask 1,000 times, you get a couple of yeses, right?
Well, I'd say part of that complimenting as well is for our very first event, David said he was going to get 12 beer sponsors. And I said, there's no way you're going to get like 1 or 2. Like he came back a week later and we had 15 breweries signed up for our first
15
event.
15 breweries, and then we picked up 2 to 4 flats per brewery. So we got
We're
a lot of
still
beer
going
for our
through
event.
that. Yeah.
Awesome. And then having that quick, like go in Canva, this is literally a Canva template for free. We just pasted our information. We had this is our first ever kind of sponsorship package with 0 event picture photos. All we did is we sent this PDF and then people just kept on saying yes, because we had a professionalism to our event, right? You have some of your numbers at the bottom and then you're good to go. So without ado, we have a quick video that we want to play you all.
CPPUG does community events for the Calgary Power Platform user group. So we get a network of local professionals who are in Calgary and like using the Microsoft tools and the Power Platform. And we all get together and just talk about our projects, talk about the exciting work we're doing, some of the new trends we're seeing in Microsoft, and we get to share our experience. Bauer Automate took over as a title sponsor for the CPPUG 2 years ago, and we have been trying to revitalize it to be more of an in-person space, more of a mentorship and welcoming area where we can get the community together a little bit more in person than some of the previous events, as well as sponsoring some local charity projects. People who should join CPPUG are anybody in Calgary who's exploring what can be done with low-code tools like what's in Microsoft's Power Platform. And if you're curious about other things that are being done by your peers and other people in town who are using those tools.
Ever since I joined them, I found a community where I can learn and thrive, and everybody is so nice and helpful here. I really like the energy of this group.
And so we look at kind of using Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, and AI Builder, SharePoint, the other parts of Office 365 that are more of the advanced tools. But we've just been noticing this huge growth in the low-code advancements here. More companies are starting to see the value in what can be done with the Power Platform, and it's just exciting to see, it's evidenced by this community we have here.
I myself have used Power Platform just because of this group for some volunteer projects I've worked on. And when I got stuck, I was able to come to one of their meetups and get some help and just ask some questions that I wouldn't have been able to ask anybody else.
And that's the beauty of working with a student from the Alberta University of the Arts as a videographer. They get something for their portfolio, and so do we. So getting into a couple other tips here. Our do's and don'ts of running the user group. We definitely want to keep things really simple, and it's things like the consistency and the value. Everyone else has said this here, but just like with the YouTube channel and everything else you want to maintain for social media, you need to post something every day, do an event often, and you know what? If the first few don't have a big turnout, that's fine. You build that momentum, take pictures, prove it, they will come. And now we have 60, 70 people coming to our events on a regular basis. Cross-promote with the other groups too. We work with the Fabric user group, the Microsoft 365 user group. We're the Power Platform user group. We make sure that everyone gets their share of, there's plenty of people who want to come to each of our events. And then same thing we talked about here, building the team. It's critical. Don't focus only on presentations, do the community. Like I said, the office hours are one of our favorite events because it's a little bit more of a connection with our peers, as well as some of the bigger events. We do things like have our little pods. So we'll have a junior, intermediate, and advanced section at our pizza party. We'll talk for a little bit, and then people can go and mingle amongst groups of their level and talk a lot about this. Make sure you're engaging personally, but don't overspend. There's plenty of venues who will give you free space or cheap space, especially if you're a charity there. David's a wizard with the breweries, and if you're registered as a charity, lots of the pizza places will give you a pretty good deal too. Or, you know, if you're buying 20 pizzas, they give you at least a few bucks off, which is helpful. Otherwise, don't really race into this as far as like you're building up a bunch of processes. You definitely want to start small and then scale this up later. It's taken us a year and a half to get our stickers, get our marketing, get everything up and running, and it's great. And then finally, iterate on this as you go. Don't just rely on your ideas, but feedback, feedback, feedback. And in the spirit of proving we were all here, our groups asked for a photo as well. And that's part of our success here, is just getting the community together. We've had a few people come up to us after the events, and they've shared just like appreciation for being able to see that the community's growing, see that the career opportunities. Some of our events, we have recruiters, and we've been able to get people placed from meeting at these networking events. I know for us, for business, there's also a few potential customers who come through and other people who might be good candidates. I think one of my favorite things that happened recently was one of our speakers at the events came up to us and thanked us because last year they just started getting into the Power Platform, and they were inspired by what we were doing in the group, and they came up and gave me a hug because he said, I just got my 20th Microsoft certification. I'm an MCT now, and I'm starting to deliver some courses. And that's why we do this. It's just awesome to see the way that the community is growing here and that we can give back a little bit with our expertise. It's just absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you have any that you kind of think of off the top of your head?
Yeah, no, 100%. I think at the end of the day, like we do this because we are like literally you cut our skin, we bleed the Power Platform because we believe in this ecosystem because it improves like the productivity of not only your company, but the rest of the world, right? Because we're here from our countries here and we're here to play on a global scale and help efficiency kind of grow and do all that stuff, right? And then by us helping out one by one, every single developer improve their skill and avoid them from developing in production, then we'd be so happy, you know?
Right. So with that being said here, we only have a few minutes left. So we just kind of want to open up the floor here and see if there's any questions about building up your own user group. Good.
Yeah, about frequency. I mean, it's about frequency. I mean, how often you must have events or activities, meetups, or...
We've had pretty good success with our monthly thing. It's really just about what's consistency. We're a growing company here. We've only been a company for pretty much as long as we've taken ownership of the Power Platform user group. And it's been a little bit difficult because a lot of that's been our funding at first. But the monthly cadence has been really good for us. We find like the second Tuesday or the fourth Wednesday of the month. And then little bit of different timings as well, depending on the event. The Power Platform Pizza Party, after hours, it's a little bit of a beer get-together networking and we talk a little bit more. Office hours, we try to get those towards the end of the shift. Maybe someone gets excused by their boss to come ask their question to some pros. And so but it's that consistency. If you can't do monthly, at least doing like quarterly or something, but just getting that on everybody's calendar so they can free that up.
I would also figure out your event timing schedule with the work calendar, right? So don't host an event in December if you're in US and Canada, because in December, people are most likely on Christmas. Don't host an event from June to August, because it's like for bigger networking events. So usually the months that we have kind of a weird thing happening, we usually just host our office hours. And the office hours are literally like very little engagement. You just sit at your office, post it on Meetup, and then you're good to go. Like just Google us, Calgary Power Platform, or Bing us, Calgary Power Platform user group, and then you can literally, all of you are more than welcome to just copy and paste everything we're doing on Meetup and put it to your local city. 100%. We give out the copy right away.
Sorry, and how do you manage the gap, like between June and...
We host office hours during those times.
Yeah, but probably is recommended like something like a newsletter or something like that, because I mean,
Yeah.
there are sounds that, or locations in which there's no way you have an activity over there. I am located in Spain, so you can imagine that in between July and August, no one's there. So, is there any recommendation that you can give me about have the consistency and the cadence to keep that user group working, even if we have like an extended period of vacations or stuff like that?
Yeah, I'd say for us, it's just doing some of the hybrid events as well. So over the busy seasons, maybe we just host that one virtually. Maybe we do that one a little bit more casually, like the office hours events. But it's just about a matter of getting something into the calendar. And even during those quiet times, you just don't plan the big events. Like we want to do our hackathon, we're not going to do it in July. We're going to do it in March or the fall when everyone's a little bit more ready for that.
Okay, we're at time. And by the way, for those of you who are still around, we have our swag kind of on that table. If you want to grab stickers, buttons, or whatever, it's just on that table back there. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.